Howdy everyone. As you can see, I have my replacement parts back from Vans. Actually, it was this side here. So this is the piece that I had to order, and then the white nylon type blocks. So those came in, and I went ahead and, like I had done on this side, I had gone ahead and drilled these blocks to this piece correctly this time. And now I am fitting these brackets here. Now the written instructions say that you use the holes drilled in this piece. I think this is F644. You use the holes in this piece and the holes in this skin. When you get those cleated together, that helps position this bracket. The problem is, my brackets had no holes in them. So here's what I did. As per the instructions, I slid the bolts through this piece, through the blocks, and then of course the bolts will hit this piece because there are no holes in this. That's the whole point of putting this together. You got to match drill the through holes through these blocks into this piece. So I went ahead and put my bolts in as far as they could until they hit this bracket. Same on this side. Put the bolts in, slide them through the blocks until they hit the bracket. At that point, like I always do, I had the bracket off, and I marked a center line down the length of this flange on both brackets. Then I positioned the bracket. As you see here, I positioned it and I lightly clamped it, and I made absolutely sure that the holes here, so these holes here that already exist on this piece, I've already dimpled the flange of this piece, which you see here, and I've already drilled and dimpled this piece. Those holes were quite easy to do. I just made sure with both pieces being dimpled, they kind of nest nicely with each other. So I made sure that these two holes here were nicely nested. I made sure again that this piece fit nice to this face. You can see here, there's a nice fit here. Lightly clamped it to pull everything together, and to make sure that this bracket was held down tight against this face. Same on the other side. I made sure that these existing holes that were dimpled nest. Make sure that the bracket fits up against this face nicely. Make sure that the bracket fits down on this face nicely. Then I flipped the whole assembly over. Don't know that I can do that one-handed. Let me give it a shot. I suppose I can. All right. So now I have the assembly flipped over, and like we have done before, looking down through the existing holes, here are some existing holes. Looking down through these existing holes, I could see my black center line. So then I just moved that so that it was in alignment with these holes. And again, using the drill bit, I just went down with my drill bit to make a mark, pulled everything apart, took those brackets over to the drill press, drilled them, brought them back over, clecoed in place, just like you see it here. And then, of course, with this back the way it was, let me flip this over. So now with it back upside down, now it is nicely clecoed. And again, I just checked to make sure that those holes were nested nicely, everything fits nicely. So there you have it. Not too difficult. Again, a little bit of tedious work, but take your time. Not really sure why these were not pre-punched. I checked and double checked to make sure that I used the right bracket, because you have to make these from an existing channel. I made sure that I had the right parts, and these are not drilled. And actually, some of the drawings, they show these pieces not drilled. So that's what I had to do to get these holes. Now that that is done, I've got them reclamped, and one at a time, I'm going to pull a bolt out. I got this bolt out, have this bolt out, have it clamped. I'm going to drill through, all the way through, and all the way through the bracket that I just put in. That way this whole assembly, this entire assembly would be match drilled. And the instructions tell you that. They tell you to pull a bolt out one at a time, pull the bolt out, drill it all the way through, put the bolt all the way in, pull out the next one, drill it, pull out the next one, drill it. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. So I'll drill all 3 of these on both sides. And after that, I'm not sure. But I'll do that now, and I'll get back to you soon. Another thing to consider, as you can see, I have the basic assembly just on my bench. The way that the written instructions read, they allude to the fact that this is still mounted to the airplane, because they talk about not riveting or not clecoing this row here, because you need to peel the skin back so you can get to these bolts to drill them through. I elected not to do that. I have mine on the bench. I have it upside down so I can drill these pretty easily just like they are. So again, that's a decision the individual builder has to make. But like I said, the instructions allude to the fact that this is still on the airplane, because they do not want you to clamp. They don't want you to cleco this row of rivets, and you have to peel the skin back to drill your through holes. I've elected not to do that. I just have it here on the bench. It makes it a lot easier. And another thing to remember is when you drill these blocks, these nylon blocks, because they're so soft, you use a number 10 drill bit, which is actually larger than a number 12. And you do that in these soft aluminum or the soft nylon blocks because the bolt will fit better with a slightly larger hole. But your aluminum pieces should be number 10. So this aluminum spacer is drilled with a number 10. This I'm going to drill with a number 10. This has been drilled with a number 10. So now that I'm match drilling the holes into this, I'm just going to use a number 12. So let me say that again. The nylon pieces get a number 10 drill bit because it's slightly bigger and you get a better fit with the bolt. The aluminum pieces are drilled with a number 12 drill bit, which is slightly smaller. So since we're drilling through this entire stack into this piece, this is the piece that we're actually putting the hole in. So I'm going to use a number 12 drill bit. So the number 12 will fit nicely through this piece, it will fit nicely through the spacer, and it will put the correct size hole into this piece here. Okay? So I'll knock that out and see what's next.